What have you made to what are you making to Brenden Aaronson at the minute?
He has his moments. I think he's a little bit like a headless chicken. When I see him play, that's the impression I get. He puts in so much. For me, he needs to be contributing more on the goal front. Well, we had one goal from him all season, I think. You know, when you're looking at somebody like him, I mean, how would you categorise him, Connor? For me, he's an attacking midfielder.
Yeah, I'd say he was an attacking midfielder. I mean, I don't feel like I was harsh on him last night, and I got a bit of bite back for it. But I just went on a whim and said, I don't see how someone like him gets better. Like, obviously, he's naturally going to get better. You know, physically, he's probably going to improve this, that, and the other. But all I was saying was, this isn't me, you know, throwing him out to the wolves or anything like that. I know he's young. I think he's only like 21. But I think it's just his style of play. If Leeds are playing with a central attacking midfielder, let's say in a 4-2-3-1 or whatever it may be, or a 4-3-3, and you've got someone at the tip of that. For me, I don't ever see how he's going to develop technically. I think he just seems so erratic on the ball,
Yeah,
and
but I think age, Connor, will help him. You know, I think he needs to muscle up, doesn't he? He needs to put some weight on.
How does
he needs to bulk out a little bit?
But how does muscling up and how does getting to the gym and doing all that sort of stuff? How does that improve your decision making, your football IQ when you're in certain moments? How does that evolve by muscling up?
But I don't think he's the only one. You know, there are a few of them in there where they just don't see it. And you know, I mean, people maybe watching this and recalling, you know, just a few short weeks ago, you know, I'm calling Leeds out saying we're just a championship level football club, you know, with the players. And I've not really changed my opinion on that, Connor. You know, we could still go down. You know, we've had one good game, you know, and you know, sometimes, you know, we look at that game don't with rose tinted glasses and think this is the rest of the season for us. We've still got to be realistic. I still think we've got a few players in the team that just don't have that vision. There are so many, and Jack Harrison is one of those, you know, and it's very important to us when you look at his stats. So I just don't think Jack Harrison's got 5 years on Aaronson, and he still doesn't see things. And I know it's easy. You've played the game, Connor, to a high level, but you know, when you're on that pitch, it's all right viewing it from the stands or on TV. You know, you see things, the different perspective things. When you're on the ball, quite often you're only seeing that tunnel vision of what you see in front of you, but you need to develop that peripheral vision, don't you? And I think he needs to do that. He needs to be aware of more of what's going on, out to the right, out to his left, not just straight in front. Have an awareness of what's going on around. And I think as well, when you chop and change a lot within a team, you know, players become familiar with other players and where they're going to be on a pitch. It's like a sixth sense. And I think he just needs to develop that. He needs to bulk up. He needs to keep a hold of that ball, return it more. He seems to get pushed off the ball very easily. But there's definitely a player in there. I really believe there's a player in there. For me, yeah, he needs to be fit. You can see that. He just needs to be stronger on the ball, improve that vision. And I think that just comes with time as well. And maybe playing longer together. Those players, the more they play together, the more they'll be familiar instinctively where each one of them are on the pitch.
Yeah, you could be right. I think, yeah, can that develop? I guess we're only seeing him. We've only seen him for a season now, and I just think sometimes like you said, it's a goal to his name. I think he just snatches at things. Sometimes he doesn't see the right pass, and when he does see the right pass, everything's overcooked or undercooked. And it is very much like, you know, we've seen it with Jack Harrison for years, where there's nothing. I know you've got different players and you've got to give him a chance and all this sort of stuff, but Jack still has so many deficiencies, and the exact same deficiencies he had when he was 21. But, you know, even from 21, 22 onwards, he was still producing in clusters and was still getting, you know, on the score sheet and getting assists and stuff like that. But those same deficiencies still remain. And that's what I worry about when it comes to Brenden Aaronson. You judge different players to obviously different accounts and stuff like that. But I just see them as very sort of similar players, but Jack's well in advance of him anyway. And the positionally they're different, but Jack's well in advance of him because, you know, whatever I may say about him and him being hot and cold, he does produce moments. Whereas I know Aaronson's only been here for a season, but I think there's been so many moments for him to be able to deliver in big moments for Leeds. And he's just not done it enough. And you know, you're just hoping, I'm just thinking to myself, can technically is the key word. Can he improve in that department? I know physically,
I think he can, Connor.
athletically he can. I just don't know if when you're at 21, 22, can you technically develop in such a massive way, which he still needs to? I don't know.
But again, does he need to develop technically? You know, he probably does to a degree. But I think a lot of it comes down to like I said, experience. You know, the more experience he gets, you know, it's like.
But is that a natural thing? Is that a natural thing, having a technical ability?
I think it's working on the game. I mean, who could ever say that? God forbid I should mention his name, but David Beckham was a fantastic technical footballer. He wasn't, was he? He just worked really hard at his game, and he was good in certain areas.
But he always produced goals and assists, Beckham, even if he was. But
he was an expert in certain things, wasn't he? I mean, his game was pretty one-dimensional, you know. And I think, you know, he just developed the side of his game that he was very good at, and he worked hard at that. And I think Aaronson's very good at going forwards. I do. I think he's got that ability. I think he just needs to concentrate on his game, work really hard in other areas. He needs to have more awareness about him where his teammates are on the pitch. He really needs to develop that. And I really do believe that he needs to start putting some muscle on as well, because he'll be an awful lot more competitive if he does that.
How do you develop that then, Dad? Do you think like, is it just about standard coaching, like, you know, like those because they're the better players, aren't they? They're the best players. Listen, I'm willing to be proven wrong here, by the way, always. But
I think so, Connor.
But those you know, those fine moments where you're playing as a central attacking midfielder, and you know, under pressure, you need to play that pass. You need to have a strike on goal. You know, all those technicalities. Like, I just don't know if he's like got the ball striking ability. I've never seen him hit a ball hard. You know, a free kick. You know, you normally get a lot of central attacking midfielders being able to take set pieces. I don't really see that with him. And I just think some of the central attacking midfielders in world football who you'd expect Leeds to maybe look at in the next couple of years would come in and naturally be picked over Aaronson straight away.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're not going to put him. Is he ever going to play for, you know, top 6, top 8 club in the Premier League? Is he ever? Probably not. There's no reason why he can't be a good standard Premier League player. Yeah. You know, he's only young, Connor. You can't really say that at such a young age. That's it. He's never going to improve. He's never going to be able to develop his game. I think he can do that. You know, and there's no reason why he can't be working on something else. Beckham did. It's that 10,000 hours, isn't it? If you say to somebody, whatever you do in any walk of life, if you put 10,000 hours worth of effort into whatever you're doing, you can become an expert in your field.
I don't think.
And that's what he needs to do. He needs to concentrate. He needs to be the last man off the training pitch at the end of the day, concentrating on. The coaching staff could point it out to him, couldn't they? They could show him video clips of where his awareness could be improved.
Yeah,
you know, I think of the ball in certain areas could be improved. You know,
I think it's and I think I don't think he's. I'm not saying he's done, but I'm saying this is what we're going to get from him going forward. I think, from a personal perspective, I don't think you're going to see Brenden Aaronson. And I know what the comments are going to say, you're hounding him out, whatever, because they're not. I appreciate where people are coming from, and you are coming from when it comes to it. I think that this is what we're going to get from Brenden Aaronson. I don't think from Brenden Aaronson we are going to get elevation next season and then elevation the season after. Personally, because I still think throughout a season you do see development throughout a season when a player is getting better and better and better. I do think that, but there are factors there when it comes to management and where he's been playing and stuff like that. And I understand that, and I hope I'm proved wrong. But I just see this Brenden Aaronson as what we're going to get going forward, which is fine. It's fine. I'm just not 100% sure he's technical. I think you have to have a lot of natural technical ability in a central attacking midfield role to be able to really conduct and be successful, but could be wrong.